4 new things we just learned about the special counsel investigation. I mean, we know that Hillary Clinton is corrupt. We knew the whole, uh, we knew about the whole spying on Trump thing when he was a candidate into when he became president. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, share this out so we can get this information out. Also, um, hit that alarm bell so you know when I put out new stuff. And check out the link in the description. I got a link tree that links to my Patreon where I talk about things I can't talk about here. And also check out my merch. I have "I Will Not Comply" T-shirts, "Let's Go Brandon" T-shirts, whole bunch of T-shirts, and it's all made here in house. And every purchase it goes to help fund what we're doing here. All right, let's talk about this news. Since Friday, several developments have exposed more of the behind the scenes details of the special counsel investigation into Spygate, including the public release of the deposition of Tech Executive One, Rodney Jaffe. Jaffe's deposition, coupled with other details previously known, revealed several significant facts while highlighting the many questions that remain unanswered. Here's what we learned and what investigative trails require further probing. 1. Rodney Jaffe pled the fifth twice. Earlier this month, the Russian-connected Alpha Bank filed a motion in a Florida state court seeking an extension of time to serve the numerous John Doe defendants it had sued there in June 2020. And I remember back in my old channel, we talked about Alpha Bank and how they were suing people for this made-up story. But Alpha Bank had sued John Doe and others at stand-ins for the defendants it claimed were responsible for executing a highly sophisticated cyber attacking scheme to fabricate apparent communications between Alpha Bank and the Trump administration in the months leading up to the 2016 presidential election. After filing suit, Alpha Bank began discovery in an attempt to learn the identity of individuals responsible for what the large privately owned Russian bank alleged what was the creation of a fake computer trail connecting to the Trump organization. Among others, Alpha Bank sought information from what Jaffe, the man identified as Tech Executive One, in Special Counsel John Durham's indictment against former Hillary Clinton campaign attorney Michael Sussman. Jaffe attempts to quash Alpha Bank's subpoenas failed. On February 11, 2022, the tech executive alleged by Durham to have exploited sensitive data from an executive branch office of the federal government to mine for derogatory information on Trump sat for his deposition. On Friday, an internet sleuth discovered the public filing of Jaffe's deposition, which revealed that Jaffe had finally been deposed by Alpha Bank. And I can't wait to find out what happens with all this stuff. In addition to revealing that Jaffe's deposition had taken place, the transcripts from the deposition established that Durham had asked to interview Jaffe more than a year earlier, but Jaffe refused to speak with Durham's team. After Jaffe refused to submit to a voluntary interview, the special counsel's office subpoenaed him to testify before a grand jury. So why wouldn't he go talk to these people? What is he hiding? If you got nothing to hide, you wouldn't mind going talking to these people. But Jaffe told Alpha Bank lawyers that he refused to answer questions before the grand jury, exercising his Fifth Amendment rights. The former New Star Tech executive likewise asserted his Fifth Amendment rights in response to a subpoena for documents served by the special counsel office, because he is right. He knows all the dirt. Jaffe got all the dirt, and so does Sussman. And I can't, and that's why they're getting subpoenaed. I can't wait for to find out what they have to say under oath. But you know, he pleaded the fifth earlier. Maybe they can. I think they're gonna hopefully subpoena him again and try to get him to tell us what's going on. But 2, Jaffe seeks to jump into the Sussman criminal case, and you know I reported on the Sussman criminal case prior to, but Friday also saw Jaffe's attorneys Stephen Tyrell and Eileen Citron filed notices of appearances for Jaffe as a proposed inventor in the special interventor, in the special counsel's criminal case against Sussman. Jaffe could seek to intervene in the case to challenge a subpoena to seek a protective order, maybe because of purported attorney-client communications Jaffe had with Sussman, or to prevent Durham from discussing his alleged role in public filings, or to otherwise protect a legal right of interest. I mean, they're really trying to cover this stuff up. But we should know more shortly when Jaffe's attorney filed a related motion to intervene. That motion is likely to come within the next week or so, given that on Friday, the court in the United States versus Sussman scheduled a hearing for March 7th, 2022, to address potential conflicts of interest between Sussman and his current attorneys. And Jaffe is likely interested in ensuring Durham's team does not further implicate him in the matter. 3. Jaffe's seemingly contradictory testimony about Ops Trust. The transcript of Jaffe's deposition testimony discovered on Friday consistent mainly of the former tech executive refusing to answer questions because of the special counsel's pending investigation, with Jaffe responding to Alpha Bank's inquiry by pleading the fifth. However, several times Jaffe responded to questions about specific individuals by saying he had not heard of the person or organization. One such exchange provoked intriguing and seemingly contradictory to an email obtained pursuant to a right-to-know request served on Georgia Tech, the university where two of the researchers who allegedly mined data for Jaffe worked. Quote, "Just a few questions more," Alpha Bank attorney began before asking, "Mr. Jaffe, are you a member of the so-called Union of Concerned Nerds as described by L. Jean Camp?" Basically, she's used it as a description to describe a group of computer researchers who search for malware and other malicious content and actors on the internet. The attorney for the Russian bank continued. Jaffe responded that he can't remember having heard of the term, before adding, "and I don't belong to any organization." Whenever someone said they can't remember something, that's a clue right there that they're not really being honest. But however, when asked whether he was a member of the group of individuals who sought to investigate potential foreign interference in the 2016 U.S. presidential election, or compiled supposed evidence of the Alpha Bank server connecting to Trump, Jaffe pled the fifth. Now that's a telltale sign right there. So maybe they didn't call themselves the Concerned Nerds or whatnot, but when they asked him, did he look into it and he investigated, he pleaded the fifth. So again, that's a telltale sign right there. In posing these questions, Alpha Bank sought to connect Jaffe to the reports of the supposed secret communication channel between it and the Trump administration, and specifically Slate reporting from October 31st, 2016, headline, quote, "Was a Trump server communicating with Russia?" And I remember that story, that fake story. Well, Arthur Franklin Foer opened the article by highlighting a small, tightly knit community of computer scientists, some at cybersecurity firms, some in academia, some with close ties to three-letter federal agencies, who claim to have discovered the Alpha Bank Trump server connections. Foer then quoted Indiana University computer scientist L. Jean Camp's, quote, "wry formulation of the group, we're the Union of Concerned Nerds." Apparently, Jaffe was not in on Camp's joke, even if he was in on the research, as Durham indictment of Sussman suggests. And that's what I believe. Maybe he didn't know that's what they called themselves jokingly and whatnot, but he definitely was part of the group that spied on Trump. But what about Jaffe's second claim that, quote, "I don't belong to any organization"? As reported last week, a random email included in a trove of documents provided by Georgia Tech in response to a right-to-know request showed Jaffe forwarded an email sent to CW General at opstrust.net to university researcher Manos Antokakis, I'm chopped up his name, that Jaffe had received the opstrust.net email and then forwarded to Anton Kakakis proves important because OpsTrust matches many of the details included in this late article, and later two New Yorker articles discussing the research behind the Alphabet claims. For instance, OpsTrust is a self-described, highly vetted community of security professionals, which include, among other experts, DNS administrators, DNS registrars, and law enforcement officials. Membership in OpsTrust is extremely limited, with new candidates accepted only if nominated and vouched by their peers. Unfortunately, Alpha Bank's attorney did not quiz Jaffe on OpsTrust, but his denial of belonging to any organization raises several questions. What was his connection to OpsTrust? Did Jaffe use the connection to obtain non-public information to mine for data to destroy Trump? Is he no longer connected to OpsTrust, and is that why he claimed not to be a member of any organization? Requests last week to Jaffe's attorney and other individuals connected to OpsTrust seeking information concerning Jaffe's continued involvement with OpsTrust went unanswered. A request to Camp on whether she was a member of OpsTrust in 2016 and whether she knew Jaffe or the Georgia Tech researchers through that organization also went unanswered. Of course, they're not going to respond to that. And number 4, it's not just the FBI and CIA we're talking about here. In the special counsel's criminal case against Sussman, Durham's team revealed that Sussman had provided the evidence of the Alpha Bank Trump covert communication channel to the FBI on September 19th, 2016, and shared an updated version of the Alpha Bank allegations with the CIA on February 9th, 2017. According to the special counsel's office, Sussman also provided the CIA data that purported to show traffic at Trump-related locations connecting to the Internet Protocol, or IP addresses, of a supposedly rare Russian mobile phone number. And we went over that before. We all know this was fake. But the questioning of Jaffe by Alpha Bank's attorneys now suggests Sussman may have also provided that same data to the Senate Armed Services Committee. The questioning of Jaffe by Alpha Bank's attorneys now suggests Sussman may have also provided that same data to the Senate Armed Services Committee. It has been known for some time that after Americans elected Trump, Democrats regrouped and continued to push the Russia collusion hoax, including the Alpha Bank angle. The New Yorker in a 2018 article rehashed the Alpha Bank claims and, referring to Jaffe with the pseudonym Max, wrote that after Trump inauguration, 2 Democrat senators have reviewed the data assembled by Max's group. One of the Democratic senators approached a former Senate staffer named Daniel Jones and asked him to give the data a closer look. The New Yorker article continued. Jones then spent a year researching the Alpha Bank allegations and writing a report for the Senate. Imagine doing all this research on some fake stuff. I wonder if the staffer knew that this stuff was fake. I believe he did. But according to the New Yorker coverage, then the senators had the data and provided it to Jones. Jones confirmed that sequence when a former Senator Dianne Feinstein staffer and founder of the Democracy Integrity Project, sued Alpha Bank seeking to keep confidential his deposition testimony and documents provided to the Russian bank. In his complaint, Jones stated in court filings that in early to mid 2017, the U.S. Senate Armed Services Committee asked him to research the alleged connection between Alpha Bank and the Trump Organization. Specifically, the Senate committee requested that Mr. Jones evaluate information it had received about the DNS lookups between Alpha Bank servers and the Trump Organization servers. Significantly, Jones stated that the Senate committee informed him that the source of the DNS records had a history of providing accurate information, a lengthy history of reliable assisting the U.S. law enforcement and intelligence communities, and was an individual entity with sensitive contracts with the U.S. government. Jones added that he met with a representative for the source of the DNS records at the committee's request. While Jones did not identify that source or the source's representative with whom he met, in Jaffe's deposition, Alpha Bank lawyers stated that Jones had testified he had, quote, liaised with Mr. Jaffe on various issues related to the server allegations. This, quote, sensitive contracts language from Jones' filings also seemed eerily like Durham's charge that Jaffe had exploited internet data, including some access under sensitive government contracts. And that's the big thing right there. Alpha Bank's questioning of Jaffe also seemed to suggest a similar theory. Quote, were you aware that Mr. Sussman provided documents including white papers and data files to Congress? Alpha Bank's counsel asked, clarifying that she meant not just the actual senators or representatives, but also their staff. And did you direct Mr. Sussman to provide such documents to Congress? The Russian bank attorney continued. While Jaffe refused to answer the questions, again pleaded the fifth, Jaffe admitted in his deposition that he knew Kirk McConnell. McConnell worked as a staffer for Senator Jack Reed, and in the role, McConnell served as a contact for Jones related to the Alpha Bank research. If Sussman had provided Alpha Bank data to the two Democrat senators on behalf of Jaffe, as appeared possible from these details, that would represent the fourth time Sussman had served as an intermediary for Jaffe with federal officials. In addition to FBI and CIA, we know from Durham's filing that Sussman also provided the DOJ's Inspector General information purporting to show that Jaffe, quote, had observed that a specific OIG employee computer was seen publicly in internet traffic and was connecting to virtual private network in a foreign country. While at this point, there is no evidence that Jaffe tipped to the DOJ Inspector General connect to the other efforts undertaken by Jaffe and his lawyer to push a Trump-Russia conspiracy theory within the deep state, questions remain that are only heightened by the possibility that the Jaffe-Sussman team also fed senators on the Armed Services Committee their intel. And I'm sure they did. However, did Jaffe see the internet connection? Did he exploit any government or private data? Was he specifically watching computer traffic at the DOJ? Where else was he monitoring internet connections and why? Of course, the more global question remained as well. When will the corrupt media begin reporting on the biggest political scandal of the last century? I don't think they ever will, but let me know what you think. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe. And check out themarkrepublics.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.